YouTube, what's up? JP here. So today is the day. We are going to be installing the APR GTC-200 wing. So we're going to have a step-by-step for you guys. In my last video I mentioned that I'd be using hood latches to hold the old wing down. However, the way they ended up creating a design is it's going to actually mount to part of the wing and up onto the actual housing here itself, so it's going to hold itself down, so we don't have to worry about that, which is awesome. So stay tuned, you guys, and we'll get started. Alright, you guys, so we're going to start with pulling these covers off. So you're going to remove these 4 Torx. So the next thing to be aware is these are not Torx, these are what they call tamper stars. So if you look on, I have a little tool from, I don't remember where I got this, but look, that's what a Torx looks like, 6 points. This is what a star is, 5 points. So this one is labeled, you guys can see that, TS25, so Tamper Star 25. So you have to order one of those. I went down to Harbor Freight and AutoZone. Nobody carried one, so Amazon does, but I happen to have one in my toolbox. So set this down very gently. You come around here. So this is the cable, you guys. So you're gonna cut this clamp here and this clamp here, allowing the motor to actuate properly, thinking the wing is actually still in place. All right, you guys, make sure you wear safety glasses and, you know, everything else that I'm not doing. we go. All right. So now that can spin freely. All right, so we want to plug everything back in the way you took it out. So that way it thinks the motor is working properly. Ground there. Ground there. And your motor plug. It's plugged in. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put this all back together so we make sure it's tightened down where it's going to sit. So we can line up our new holes for the new wing. So, there it is. Okay. See, now you can move this freely. You guys come around and follow me, the car. We want to make sure we don't forget to put the wing back down. Just turn the key on. Key. And then hold your button down. Alright, you guys, so make sure once you get the motor set back into place, you hold the wing button back down to close so it's not in the service mode anymore. Alright, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and put all of our star bits back in. Make sure this thing is where we want it. Tightened down, sealed up for lining up the new wing. So now that those rods are cut, you can just get it to go. There it goes. Alright. You can actually just open these by hand now to go ahead and set your factory spoiler back down. Just go ahead and tighten those down. You might need to leave them a little loose, test fit it, readjust them. Alright, you guys, so got the bolts. What I did is I just lined up my old washer marks. So now you need to close this. Make sure your body gaps look good. So one thing to note is you'll notice it won't go down all the way without putting weight on it, which is probably the motor probably sucks it down. But once the new bracket goes across, it'll hold it flat, so we don't have to worry about that. So alright, you guys, so I actually have, because I do vinyl on the side, I have some grid tape. It's low tack, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a single line from here down the body line as a marker. So I'll line up a corner in this corner and come down on both sides, and that'll give me a good 1 by 1 inch area to measure the new holes. So I have corner, and it runs perfectly. I don't know if you can see this, but the edge is right there. Perfectly down the edge. So we're going to do the other side now. Alright you guys, so what we ended up doing is taking our measurements from center to center on the brackets. Ours specifically is in the rear, in the front is 28 3/4. The back is 27 3/4, difference of 1 inch. And then what we ended up doing here on our grid, we made marks, both 6 down, about 1/8 of an inch on the inside, and then we took our rubber that's going to go on there, put it there, and did center to center. You see inside there at the 27 3/4, and then we made sure this one is within the same square over here, and they're about in the exact same spot. On the inside lower corner a little ways in, inside lower corner a little ways in, so they line right up. So we're going to test fit it one more time, and then we'll drill some holes. I feel comfortable. We double triple checked our holes, so we're going to go ahead and by taking these one step at a time like we're doing, we're not taking away any material we don't need to take away, and we're not causing the fiberglass to shatter because we're trying to take too much off at one time. Still a little more to go. There you go. going back after that. So clean up some of this with the sticky part of the tape. Alright you guys, so I think I found a solution to the problem. So we're going to pop our trim out. Kind of get it out of the way for now. Set it up like that on both sides. Okay. Alright, so if you look here, this hole came in a little bit off to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a hole saw to open this up here so we can get a washer and the nut right on this bolt. So we'll actually have some space because it's hollow inside there. So I'm going to use a hole saw, keep it level with this, and that way we can get our bolt and washer there on both sides. And then same thing with here. So instead of having to try to open the wing and get to the bolts and drilled all the way through, I'm going to take a hole saw here, and then I'll put the washer nut here, and then we'll put a little bit of silicone on the washer just in case water wants to try to come through. This one here is on the outside of the trunk seal, and actually looking at it, they're both on the outside of the trunk seal, so you don't even need to put silicone there, so it'll be good. Alright you guys, so kind of cleaned up a little bit. So this is the factory hatch. So I drilled a big hole through my factory hatch. So that's something to be, you know, aware of. I wanted to be able to get to this hole here. You guys don't have to drill holes that big. I wanted ease of access because there's no lifting this wing, like I said, once those plates are there. So, I mean, technically, I'll have to replace this whole trunk if I ever want to take the wing off, but I plan on keeping the car as a track car, so it's going to stay that way. These ones came out really nice. Clean hole, I can get right to there with a washer. If you turn around and come over here, we went ahead and got everything lined up. We got the base plates on and the rubber gaskets hold that. I ended up doing a long stud on the front and a short stud on the rear, so I'm going to see how that fits and works. YouTube, that concludes the tutorial for installing the new Jaguar F-Type R APR GTC-200 wing. Again, you could do it a different way. This came out really good, so check out the final product.